How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Monday live stream. Today, we check out Firmware 2.0 and we'll build some show. How's it going, everybody? Today, on the plan of the show, like I said in the intro, Firmware 3.0 point something else. I don't know where we're at right now. A lot of recent small bug fix firmware were released after 3.0. I know 3.0 was on beta testing for a while, but you guys keep having, come up with new stuff, come up with bugs, and they are fixed right away. So just to be clear, I need to do a firmware update. This is what we're going to do today at first, and we're going to start building a show file for a rehearsal that I have tomorrow for an artist called Melina. So we're going to see what's going on with that. First thing that we need to do is the show file, not a show file, the firmware upgrade. I'm going to use I believe still unreleased yet version of the firmware. It's 0.3 right now. My console is on 3.22, which I believe is the latest public release. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna upgrade to the latest dev try. So it's dated of today, was released I believe for the beta tester this morning. So let's see what's going on with that. We're gonna select that and we're gonna go update. I hope it's going to go better than the first time that I did an update. And it will allow me to refocus that console while we're at it. There we go. So, are you sure you want to update? Confirm. Yes. I hope I'm not going to lose my USB. I hope I'm not going to lose my USB stuff. Let me put my phone in Do Not Disturb mode. And we're gonna go back to this. Press shutdown. Press shutdown and reboot. So the firmware went well. We're gonna go shut down, confirm, and we're gonna try again with the physical reboot without, turning the power off. I'm gonna go effect and ohm, and we're gonna wait for the console to turn back on. How was your weekend, everybody? How is your... Actually, this is an... I don't know if anywhere in the world, but here it's Thanksgiving in Canada. So it's a official day off for most people. I'm not taking any day off. This is not what I usually do. We have... Okay, here I have firmware 3.0.3. So this is the latest version. I have a show right now. I have a show file that I'm gonna do a save again, or actually a snap file. I'm gonna save my snap file here for the Gala country. I'm gonna go save, just overwrite that before I load the new file that we're gonna work on today. So to load a file, if you never did that, I slowly started I started the process of building my show file on the offline editor. To me, it makes more sense. If I have a lot of things to write down, to start the process on the show file editor, the offline editor, the computer version, if you want to say. And we're going to load that in the console. And from there, we're going to move, we're going to move a couple things around. We're going to make sure that everything is translating to the console really well. And after that, I'm going to keep building that stuff. And I'm going to pre-build in-ear mixes today. So, without further ado, let's go here. USB, wing shows. And I'm going to go with Melina. And I'm going to go load. I'm just going to move the trackpad out of the way. Confirm. My console just reset. Actually, my custom control went blank because this is honestly the way that I start my shows, blank. But I need to load, for the purpose of doing this live stream, I need to load my control from the Monday live stream scene that I have, so I can switch the camera and I can mute the music and stuff like that. So the first thing that I want to do here is go back in the library. I want to go out of my USB. I want to go internal. I want to select my Monday live stream setup, and I want to do a partial load. So partial load, I want nothing from that file except my CC control. And I basically want to have, is it DAW1? No, it's not the DAW, it's the CC1. So on page CC1 for me, I have all my camera control and everything is mapped. I'm basically using MIDI mapping for that. So I'm going to go close and I'm going to go load. And my custom control just load. So I have, you know, my camera switching. I can do A/B switching for the camera. And that didn't follow. Maybe because when I loaded the show file again, I did not load the, there you go. So I need to put custom control over USB, and that should be working. No. Let's put them all to USB. Just make sure that everything is acting on USB. Let's go again. There we go. So now I'm back. I have access to switching my camera live, and I have basically everything that I need to control the show from here. Is the song in my playlist done? Did I stop the music? No, I stopped the background music. And now it's back on. Alright. So what's up, Donald Dream? Good to see you, man. Always a active member of this community. Always a pleasure. Good weekend. Busy week ahead. Outdoor festival. You're still doing outdoor festival? Really? And 2 gigs Saturday, 2 gigs Sunday. Oh yeah. I feel you, man. Not so patiently waiting for my 2-wing rack and wing compact to land. Did you have the chance to order the compact? Because I know I didn't. Now at Long and McQuaid you can only order the rack. So if you are Canadian and you want to get your hand on the rack, they are available at Long and McQuaid. No affiliate link in the description. I don't think Long and McQuaid do that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're available for pre-order. Only for pre-order. They're not shipping yet. Wing Edit doesn't have ability to control edit custom control, right? I don't know. The only thing is I didn't check them out because I know for sure that in my Monday live stream setup I have that custom control with all the MIDI mapping for my OBS setting. They're all mapped out, so I didn't bother checking that. All I wanted to do was to grab from that file and drop it in. So maybe I don't know, to be honest. Maybe it's not, and maybe I need to ask the dev when that's going to be happening. Let's go back here. Let me just clear that custom control here. All right, we're good. We're good. So now let's take a look at what we have today. We have a small show with a small amount of input. Let's go. How should I put this? Let's go take a look at the first step. A lot of people want to take a look at the channel first when it comes to thinking about your stuff. Yes, you have to think in matter of channel, but the way that the wing is different, and I'm going to probably repeat that a couple times because a lot of new people coming up to the wing, to the rack, to the compact, and it's probably different from other console. If your background is more X32 like, or Midas Pro series, or whatever, and you want to upgrade to a compact, or if you come from the Yamaha world, the thing that matters the most when it comes to start your setup on the wing is the source. What I mean the source is in the routing menu, and let me switch to here. In the routing menu, you want to go in your source menu, and this is basically where you're gonna build from scratch your input that then you're gonna drop into channels. Is that clear? Does it make sense? This is where you're gonna set the name for your channel. Example, here I have my kick. I know this is gonna be my kick, and I know that I want that in my AES50A1 device. So for me, I think for the rehearsal tomorrow it will be a DL32, because there's a DL32 at the rehearsal space, and for the show it's going to be DL251. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's on the other side, as long as you know what that device, that AES50 device, is connected to. Every single AES50 line of the console has a maximum amount of 48 channel by 48 channel. So if you want to set up, let's say, 3 DL16 in daisy chain, you can do that. You will be limited to only 24 out with that setup, but there's many ways to add in and out, input and output to the wing. So depending on what you want to do, I'm not going to go over every single possible option, but there's many ways to have different type of AES50 output available here. But let's say that it's your first time you're doing a DL32. This is where you select all your source that will be connected to your DL32, and the key thing to not get lost on the wing is to label everything. Make sure to take time to label everything and color change everything. Actually, I forgot when I built that show to color change my stuff. So I like to have my drums in green. So the first thing that we're going to do here is going to change the color of my drums to be green. So green, green. I'm not going to say green 20 times. This, and my overheads. This is going to be my drum. Physically on the interface, the lights here. Oh, can you guys see that? I'm gonna pull on the console just a little bit here. There we go, almost there. Almost there, come on. Okay, it doesn't want to, but basically the LEDs on the top of the channel strip are changing with they are changing. Come on, I can do it. Oh, you're not in the right angle to see it. Damn. All right, but they changed. They follow the color that is on top here, which help visually make sense of that mess of a patch. I like to have. Let's continue with the coloring. I like to have my. Oh, damn. Hold on, guys. Doesn't look good for you, isn't it? It's gonna look way better. All right. So, bass, I like that blue. Consider me picky. Upright bass, I'm gonna go with that blue again, because on that show I have a bass and an upright bass. Same player, you're just gonna switch between songs. I like my guitar to be in red, acoustic to be in yellow, keyboard purple, and then vocal I have two options. If you play with an instrument, it's gonna be red, so my friend Vince is gonna be in red. Usually, and I don't know why it's not an option, I like to have my lead vocal in white. It's not an option, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe the brightest color that is available is that blue or that green, or I don't know. I wish we could have white, if it's possible. Maybe a dev request, I don't know. For now, I'm gonna leave it to the default blue. And I have two back vocal on that show, two ladies that will be there just to perform back vocals. So usually they are light blue on my other show. Does it really matter? No, it's just a color. But I wish I could have, you know, white, like we used to have on basically every other console. Should we go brown? Should we go orange? Yes, actually, the color of the new album, the color scheme for that show is going to be orange. Shows the lead singer, Melina, she will be orange for that one. Light blue. Light blue for the back vocal. Piano is going to be Melina. Orange. Backtrack. Should I go green? That green? Usually they are the other blue of the X32, but I don't see any enough visual difference here on the channels to have, you know. Basically, these two color on the LED, they look the same or almost the same. So I'm gonna go maybe that. Okay, that dark purple. There we go. All right. So let me go back quickly. We're gonna surface what's happening here on that show. So drums, I'm gonna go 8 input of drum, bass, upright bass, stereo guitar, acoustic guitar, 1 input for whatever surprise that may come up. This is the first time that band's gonna play together, so we may need to add another guitar, we may need to add something else. A keyboard, left right of keyboard. I left an empty space here just in case we need to add something again. You know, percussion, could be backtrack, could be anything. 4 vocals, so guitar vocal, lead singer, backup vocal, piano. Piano should be this purple. Oh no, actually, my bad. There we go. I didn't record that. So piano is going to be a physical piano. It's going to be a upright piano at the venue. It's not going to be there for the rehearsal tomorrow, but it will be there eventually. And I don't like to put any icons on my input because I like the name to be really big. Not because I cannot see them well. It's just that I like to have, you know, for sure, I know where I'm selecting on the console. All right. So as you guys probably figure it out, when it comes to channel count, which is not the same thing as source, because I have a lot of stereo stuff, you know, that's my up to 28 physical XLR here. It condenses when it comes to channel, when you take into consideration the source count. You know, you have your kick, snare, overhead. Stereo is just 1 channel, bass, individual channel, guitar, stereo 1 channel, keyboard, stereo 1 channel. I end up with a channel count of 20, which is not the same amount of having 28 input, or up to 28 with the, you know, little empty hole here and there. So I'm not gonna use those for sure, but once I condense everything to all my channel, it's gonna end up into 20. So we're gonna start build the channel from scratch. I want to, you know, start building what we're gonna use. I know what we're gonna use. Actually, I forgot to, when I think about it, turn on phantom power. That's can also happen in the source menu. You can do it on the channel too, but I like to do it from the source menu. So it's gonna be my kick. All my drum basically will be condenser. It's my drum mic, so there will all be Bayer Dynamic, the TG series. And I may use, if I feel like it, I may use the SM4 as overhead, maybe not at the rehearsal, but maybe at the venue. If the band, depending on how the drummer is gonna play tomorrow, I will decide if I'm bringing the SM4 as overhead. It would be really nice to do so. So, all right. Anything else that need phantom power? I don't think so. Maybe the bass DIs, because they are provided by the bass player. I don't know what he's going to use, but I can just turn on phantom power. But if you need to turn on phantom power when you set up your source, when you create your source and you select the mono or stereo for each one, let's say, you know, my guitar is a stereo guitar. I know for sure once I select name guitar here, I can just go stereo, and that source, not, you know, that physical input, but those two input are now linked together on a single channel. If I go here, channel, guitar, it says, I don't know how well you can see that, but it says 11 and 12. So that's good. Let's Now move on to the processing that I want to add, and oh no, my iPad is gonna die. Okay, I will give it time to charge for a couple of minutes. I will get back to you guys. Let me grab my chat on my phone quickly. Always technical problem. You'd believe after 4 years would be good at this, but no, still stuff popping out of nowhere. And did I not change? Hold on. Let me go on my own channel, look at my live stream. Give me a second. I don't have any chat right now. Give me 1 second. There we go. No, give me 1 second. Good evening, it's Stems Recording Studios. Good to see you, man. That's a dream. Been working on building a monitor only show for the wing compact. Nice. Roger, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Now, time to dive in. I like to start, building my stuff in order. So we're gonna start with the drum, and today we're gonna go probably with stuff that is more classic. This is gonna be a show where I'm gonna do front of house and in-ear monitor from the console. So I'm gonna take this as a front of house show more than just in-ear, like I did, a few days ago, where I built a show where I know I'm gonna do only in-ears. So it will be a trade-off, or different kind of trade-off. Gate, should I go with a classic gate, or actually, you know what, let's go with the Transient Designer just for fun. And I'm only going to use the Transient Designer just for gating because it has an expander in it, and recently I've been surprised with that. Post fader 28 stereo mix. Yeah, this is where we're going, man. The wing is gonna, or actually, it's not gonna have. The wing currently has 28 stereo bus for in-ear monitor possible. The way to do it, let me go over that quickly, is to use your bus, or the one that your usual suspect. The 16 bus that you usually have. This is 1 through 8, and I'm gonna use these extra for. I'm gonna go with a lot of effect on that show, but we're gonna dive into this after. Basically, in the send section now of every single bus, you can send to every single bus, and you can send to every single matrix. So for those of you who wanted that feature, you got that. It's also the same thing now for channels. If you take an example channel, this should not be a group. If you take example, here is the kick. The kick can now send into the first 16 bus. It can send now into every single matrix. So if you want, you can use matrix as in-ear bus. You have the option for tap point or post fader, or you can group those if you want to create a group for streaming or something. And now what you can do, since a couple firmware ago, you can use the 4 main as pre-fader. So if you want to do a in-ear mix, you can do it from this menu here. Every single channel has the option to send into the 4 mains. So you can do the 16 plus 8 with the matrix, and you can do 4 more with the mains. That's a lot. You could do basically 24. You could do 24 stereo in-ears mix and still have, a mix bus and maybe 3 reverb left. Let's say that you want to have an in-ear reverb and a vocal and 1 for drum, or a delay of a reverb and a drum and whatever. Whoever wants to have reverb in their ears gonna have whatever you have for the house. It's so big. The wing is huge. It's enormous amount of in and out. It's crazy, man. Sorry, the chat's gonna be slow a little bit today. Question from Dove's Dream. Is best way to insert verb vocalist? Probably a post fader insert and send tap point to anyone who doesn't want that. Exactly what I did the other day. Pretty much. So if you want to have reverb, you have the processing that goes with it. If not, you could create. There's many ways to do it. What's up, Rob? Did I say hi, Rob? What's up? Good to see you, man. You're driving this time? You're not cooking? Do you like mix modulator post fader or pre fader? Usually I do post. I like to do pre fader mix on in-ear most of the time. Even when I'm doing only in-ear monitor with the console, I like to do it this way. Caleb, how to link stereo to one channel fader? There is no, on the wing, and I just talk about that, there is no linking of fader. It's basically the source. It's basically what you're gonna send in that fader that you're gonna decide if it's stereo or not. It's all happening in the source routing menu, source here on top, and when you select a input, you can decide if you want that input to be mono, stereo, or even mid-side if you have mid-side option on your mic locker. If you have microphones that are true stereo, like ribbon mic, you can control them and you can select the amount of mid-side information that you're dealing with straight from the console. You don't need to do that old trick where you had to do two cable from two mic and use a splitter and do a phase reverse on one and panning them. You don't need to do that anymore. On the wing, if you have a mid-side source, you can just go here and you take that source. Once you created that source to be stereo, you just assign it to one fader. So basically every fader is mono or stereo. There is no linking. It's the same thing for the bus. So if you have stereo in-ear, it's one bus send. And in each channel, and this is what we're going to take a look at today, in each channel, let's say I'm going to take my thumb here because this is something that I know I'm going to pan. I'm going to go in the send menu and you can send, left or right pan for everybody. Oh, come on, get out of there. On every single bus, you select the bus here in the bottom, you can select the pan. Let's say that everybody is going to hear the thumb on the right, so we can go 3, 4, and so on. This is how you're doing stereo on a wing. It's another way to think. It's not like it used to be on the X32. That's about it. So again, sorry, the chat will be slow today. Let's first say hi to Rolf. Good to see you, man. Good to have you back, as always. Pancho, again, always a pleasure to have you, man. Let's go with some channel processing. Let's start with the kick. Transient Designer. EQ is going to be on for sure. No low cut, no high cut. I'm going to wait for the drum. Even if I know actually it's going to be my D71C, I can probably do something like this. And I know that mic has a lot of 2K in it. So usually for my 71C, this is how I'm doing this. I'm going to change the low band. Or actually I can leave the low band as shelf. But by the way, if it's your first time looking at the processing on the wing, the EQ is a 6-band full parametric. By default, the low and high are shelving EQ, but if you click on the setting of the EQ, you can change it to parametric. So you can have a full 6 parametric per channel. plus the low cut, plus the eye cut, and the tilt EQ. Those are basically, if I go here, the low cut is going to be, you know what a low cut is, going to cut the low, the high cut is going to cut the eye, and the tilt EQ is basically changing from left to right, from low to high, your overall perceived equalization for that microphone. But let me get rid of these for now. So kick, another compressor, maybe I like to have the 160. I'm gonna put that in, and for that channel I don't think I want to send the compressed volume, or do I? Okay, I will send the compressed stuff because I don't need, you know, much compression on that. Have you sorted out the pan linking from last stream? I figured out a way to do it, and this is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Haji, you're driving firmware 2.0.2 today. No, actually I have the, I don't think it's been released yet, 3.0.3. It's been released for the beta tester today. So I just loaded just before the stream. I didn't check it out. I just loaded and go. So I have probably unreleased version. I don't think it's been publicly out yet, but it's gonna come out as soon as it's, you know, as soon as the bug are fixed. So that's about it for now. Okay, let's go more into drum settings. All right, so I decided that I want to have my tap point here, and I'm good with that. What I could do here, because I know I'm going to do in-ear monitor, I could decide for the tap point of the in-ear monitor to be just before compression, but because it will be light compression and I'm not going to do too much with it with the 160, it's all going to happen in the Wave Transient Designer, and this is where I want to, you know, play around with it, and I just want to add, just for fun, a 160 just to keep it really under control. This is what we're going to do with this one. Snare. I don't like gate on snare, especially when I only have a snare top. And oh, thinking about it, we can actually do my little snare trick along with that. So I don't like gating. Maybe if I really want to, I could have a source extractor, but I think I'm gonna go Wave Transient Designer again, and it's gonna do a 2-to-1. Basically, the Wave Transient Designer kind of act like a expander, downward expander, and a compressor kind of together, but it doesn't. I don't fully understand how this thing is working, like the background, the electronic background of it. But I know turning out the knobs, that, you know, playing with the attack and the sustain, it's kind of adding like a expander, and it's gonna add, it's playing around with the amount of transient that goes through. So it's in the territory of a gate and a compressor, basically. So I'm gonna leave that on. Of course, we're gonna have some EQ, and maybe no stressor. If it's too dynamic and I want to crush it, I can do it from there. And maybe because of that, I can change the tap point to be just before the compressor to send to everybody else. Let's go with the hi-hat. Hi-hat, not gonna do much here. No dynamic on that. Maybe high cut a little bit. I know for sure low cut, and I'm gonna need to listen to it before I do anything. I could put a compressor on, not to really compress the hat, but to maintain, to stop it to go too high if the drummer go crazy. So that will be it. On the toms, what we gonna do here? Should we do source extractor, or should we do transient designer? What do you guys think? What is your go-to thing to go for a tom. Are you guys more of a gate expander or transient designer? Still use gate with triggers? Yes, definitely something that I would like to try. And that's the reason why a lot of people want to have, you know, the source menu. So when you have a gate, let me go over this quickly. When you have a gate, you have a key source to make the gate open. The key source is what the gate is listening to, of the volume, and once the volume reaches a certain threshold, it open. People would like to have this not being only channels, but to be anything in the console. That way you can have, you know, drum triggers, not use them as drum trigger or to control another machine, but to control your gate. So that way when there's something that is vibrating and like sympathetic vibrating from every bass drum hit, you know, your drum kit's gonna move. People basically want to anything. So you can use that for compression, you can do that for key gating. So if you have a tom hit, because your drum trigger gain is set really low, it's only gonna send out volume when you hit the tom, and it's gonna act better than gate. And bus and main compression for channels too. Yes, I would like to have the bus, because I'm using, and I spoke about this, my crowd mic trick, where I you know, use a mix or a mix bus for controlling my crowd when I'm doing inner monitors or when I'm doing front of house. So this is the same thing, but yeah, basically. So tom, what do we go for? I think I'm gonna go for source extractor, and it's gonna be the same thing for all the three tom and floor tom. So threshold at 0, which is not referring to the same scale as 0 dB here. It's gonna be referring to the scale of analog, or what is most common on analog consoles. So this is basically minus 18 dBFS. I want my depth, I want my volume to drop by 20 dB, and I want that to be on peak. I want an EQ for sure. I'm gonna leave the 6 parametric here. I really liked it. Probably because I know the mic, I can do something like that around 9 dB, around 500 for the tom. I know I want to have a low cut. Maybe for the tom, 100 is high, maybe around 80. It's going to be, you know, going lower with the bigger the tom is. And when it comes to compression on the tom, I never know what to use. There's so much. I like the 160 on pretty much anything that has to do with drum. The 560 could also work. The drummer I had mixed result with. G-Bus compressor would work for sure, but it's, you know, maybe not what I like. 1176 would work. LA2A, I mean, they would all work. I just don't really know how to approach that. By the way, we're gonna be here for a while, guys. Just so you know, today I'm building the show file with you. Wingate, yeah, I could go wing compressor on. I could go wing compressor just on the toms, because why go fancy where you can have everything from here? Let's do this. So I'm gonna go around minus 21 as a basic starting point for my threshold. Ratio 3:1, need 3, attack 50. That's long. I want that probably closer to like 5 or 10 in those areas. So let's go 7. Hold 20 millisecond, release 150. I'm gonna go with release 250. Quarter of a second of release. This. No insert point, and I want everybody to be post-processing on that. So I can go here and I can go tools, and I want to have that copied to these. So I'm gonna go, yes, everything here, the thing, the tag, no, the input, the filter, the gate, the EQ, blah, 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 copy. So let's see if that followed to my floor tom 2. All right, the only thing I will need to adjust is the low cut on these. So probably the first one around 60 and the big one probably around 40. And this is just a starting point, but it's gonna sound good, you know? Bonjour Patrick. Hi to everybody who speak French, by the way, in the chat. Bonjour à tout le monde qui parle français dans le chat. Toujours un plaisir de répondre à vos questions en français si jamais vous sentez que vous avez besoin d'une réponse et que la réponse n'est pas disponible en anglais. Ça va me faire plaisir de vous aider. Rolf, is there anything we need to see the chat when looking at the playback of the show? Actually, you need to wait. That's the thing. The playback of the chat is eventually there, but because I'm not on the fast server in YouTube land, because I'm not, prioritized by the algorithm, I'm a low viewer count channel. The stream playback is not available immediately. It takes time to process. So the video is out as fast as possible, but the playback for the chat is available only like a day or two after. I know, and I have no control over that. It has nothing to do with me. It's all YouTube's. That doesn't do anything about that. So let's move on quickly to the overheads. No gating in here. EQ, low cut, around 250. We need to take a listen to that, and we will see. It's been 45 minutes, and because we're going to be here for a long time today, I'm going to allow myself to take, drink break. So, guys, give me 1 minute before we switch. We kind of did the basic of our drum. Before we switch to the other instrument, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in like a matter of not even 1 minute. So, if you guys allow me, I'll be back within a minute. Well, you had an ads when I went away? Fine. You didn't miss much then. Coffee. All right, let's go back into it. So that's good. For the bass, usually, I like to go fancy on bass. But today I feel, let's go simple. I don't know the bass player, so I'm gonna, just for fun, add a de-esser, because sometimes, on bass it's fun to have a little reduction in the higher end, but it's probably not gonna be used, and anything above 5K on bass is not really needed, if I need that. EQ, low cut, probably somewhere Around 80 is a good starting point, and you probably know where I'm going with this. 1176 compressor, probably cranked, and probably not too loud. 4:1 ratio. Not too fast. This is usually what I do on bass. As a starting point, I'm gonna adjust the compression, I'm gonna adjust the EQ, but this is a starting point. Upright bass. This is where we could start to have fun. Source extractor, peak and fast. EQ, we don't need much in the subs with an upright bass. You know, the nature of the instrument is not usually too bass heavy. So I could go 120, and I'm probably gonna do a crazy EQ on those because the pickup usually have, you know, holes in them, so they probably need to have a lot of stuff removed from the mid and boosted some, you know, lower end to get it right. And sometimes, you know, to get definition you need to crank them up. I know it looks crazy, but I have done those kind of thing on upright bass to make them sound good. You need to make and sell coffee cups for a channel. I know, man. It's been in the back of my mind for a long time. The only thing is, and I'll be 100% honest, I just don't know where to start in the process of making those and getting those shipped. I don't know if Shopify is an option. I don't know if, you know, I have already designed, you know, for those mugs. It's just a matter of where can I make these, you know, be printed, being made. And I don't want to have mugs that are like, you know, once you wash them once, they're gonna, the logo's gonna disappear. So I don't know where to start when it comes to dealing with merch and stuff like that, because definitely it would make some sense for me to have, you know, coffee mug, and I have some hilarious joke that I can put on them already. Would you ever mix in a bit of sub-octaver in your bass? Yes, I do, but only with people that I know. I'm doing that. Actually, I'm gonna do this on the show fairly soon. I need to build a lot of show for the wing this week and the upcoming week. Okay, quick overview of my schedule. I have my calendar here. Tomorrow I have rehearsal for this show that we're building right here. Wednesday, I'm off. I'm figuring stuff out because I have an event on Thursday, and Friday I need to build another show because this wing is gonna go on tour with the band, and as soon as I can, you know, get my stuff together and get another compact, this wing's gonna be permanently out on tour. For now, I was gonna go in and out, but I need to build a show file for it. So this week I need to build show for that, and next Tuesday I have the show that we're gonna rehearse tomorrow. So on the 22nd we're gonna do that, and on the 24th of October I have the Gala Country show that I'm doing the rehearsal on the 23rd. So this is the show that I built in my previous stream. And the show is going to be at the Montreal MTELUS venue on the 24th. I'm going to do monitor for that. Then I'm leaving for a show on an SQ on the 25. So I'm helping a friend there on the 25. I'm replacing there with an SQ. And on the 26th, I'm also doing monitor for the same band that I did on the 18 with that wing. So this is going to be the second show, or actually no, it's not going to be the second show. It will be the B version of the band that I'm doing on the 18. I'm going to have that in the monitor world. So if you guys know the little band from Quebec, it's going to be La Chicane. This is where this is going on tour. So yeah, I'm just going to see what's happening with that. How about you think differently if you had to build the mix for the Pro 1? I can tell you the other way around, because La Chicane, the band that I'm doing mostly monitor for, I build the show for the Pro 1, and I'm going to build the show now for the Wing. My only difference will be in the matter of the amount of plug-in that I'm going to use. La Chicane is a band, French Quebecer band that was really popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was not a effect band. It was, acoustic instrument kind of vibe, electric guitar, but a typical band, pianos, a lot of pianos, and single reverb. There's no, there's not really any delay. Slap back stuff, it's not there. It's like your typical power ballad band. This is like the kind of vibe that I'm going for, and it doesn't appeal. I could give everybody Autotune, and I can give everybody, slap delay and do a bunch of delay, but it's not the kind of band where those things work. I have 2 reverb basically for that band on the Pro 2. I had one for the lead singer in his monitor, and I have one other reverb for everybody else, back vocal, and I put a little bit of drum in there, and that's about it. So my approach will differ in the sense of I will give some people pre-fader or certain effect stuff. I will change the tap point in the change for some people. Like I did in my previous stream, I gave some singer, almost bone dry vocal for them, but everybody else is going to have compress and reverb in their ear from that one. So this is just my approach to, give the player the best reference for himself, but also make it enjoyable for the rest of the band. This is not what I'm going to approach here, but yeah, to answer your question about what I approach differently from the Pro 1 is just the amount of, fancy stuff that I'm going to do and the fancy patch that I'm going to do, because here I can choose a tap point, where on the Pro series you don't have any option for tap point. Well, actually, you have pre or post fader, and after that, do you have no, it's just pre or post fader. That's it. And here, because of the tap point system, I can go crazy. And if somebody wants to have more, I can have, insert stuff. Actually, I'm gonna do for the lead singer of La Chicane, I'm gonna do a insert on his vocal for the reverb. And I may have 2. I'm probably gonna insert 2 reverb. 1 pre, 1 post, and I'm gonna play around with the wet dry of those to make the 2 reverb have a small and a large howl reverb. I'm gonna play with the amount. Actually, what I'm gonna do here on this show, I'm thinking about having a drum reverb. Actually, I can show you guys that. My bus setup, the plan is to have a drum reverb, a guitar reverb for the acoustic. Maybe for the piano I'm going to use that too, but for the vocal I want to have a large reverb, a small reverb, a delay in the chorus. Because I have some back vocal singers, I'm going to send them in the chorus. I'm going to have a delay for the lead singer and maybe other stuff. Large vocal, small vocal, and I'm gonna blend all these together, because the chorus will go into the large and small reverb, the delay is gonna go into the large and small reverb, but the guitar actually might go in the chorus, the acoustic guitar might go in the chorus, but it's only gonna go in the guitar reverb, not the vocal reverb. And the drum reverb maybe will be the drum, and depending on how much bleed that I get, maybe I will send the drum in the large verb too, but not in the small verb. Basically, you get the idea, but this is, this is having the luxury of having too many reverb available. Tobias, hey there, finally made it for the live stream. Thank you very much for showing up, man. A channel member, really appreciate that. You guys have no idea how much it makes a difference for the channel to have members like this. It's not, having a YouTube channel, a small one like I do, it's not a viable financially, and I had to invest a boatload of money to get lights, to get cameras, to get lights in front of me, lights in the ceiling, because there's one there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's one there. And you know, the camera, lens, and the microphone, and the stand, and all that rigging in my ceiling that I have all that stuff hang to, and the stand for the camera is another $100 something bucks. I know I'm never gonna make money out of YouTube, or not in the format that I am right now. I don't want to become Linus Tech Tip, you know, and or maybe I want to become Linus Tech Tip of sound, if there's such a thing. But I don't think there's enough crowd. I'm gonna take the word of Linus here and go, even him with 16 million follower or 16 million subs on YouTube and his own company, he's still, you know, in the niche side of YouTube. Basically, YouTube or Google, part of YouTube, want to have, you know, those Mr. Beasts. They basically want to become TV. And the kind of stuff that I'm doing, even the kind of stuff that Linus is doing, or the most YouTube channel where people show how to fix stuff and how to do crazy stuff, like One Dust, is it One Dust Dude? Or Dust One Dude? That guy, you know, that's doing crazy stuff with Macs. If you ever want to go have it, take a look at his channel. He's replacing, you know, he's fixing up old Mac, and he's replacing RAM into these, you know, he's soldering on the boards, and this is totally interesting to me. I like to understand how things are working and how to fix them, but it's not, you know, broad audience stuff. Not 1 million people is interested in what we're doing here. It's a small niche market. So, thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. Alright, let's move on, because it's been an hour and I only have done the upright bass. We're at channel 10, or actually no, channel 9 of 20 something. So let's dive into this. So upright bass, let me reset that EQ. It's still not there. There is still no reset button. I would love to have a big reset button here. I like the fact that they added the low cut and stuff, but the reset button is not there. So what you do when you want to reset, you just select another EQ and come back to it. But that's going to be it for the upright bass. Nothing fancy. Maybe a lot of compression, so 1176, and somewhere around -19 for the threshold, the input threshold, and somewhere around -32. And I'm going to keep the 8 to 1, and I'm just going to set the release to 5 on this one. And probably for the in-ears, I may change the tap point. And actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to go pre-compression. And if I don't have any complaint, it's going to be it. I agree with the reset button. Is it there in the wing editor? I don't know. I don't know if it's there in the wing editor. I didn't play much with the wing editor, to be honest. I only built a couple shows so far with it, and I didn't, you know, dive into it. I just went, okay, I need to do this. Let's go over some of the quick one. Electric guitar, tap point, we're gonna leave that there. Electric guitar, I'd like to have a source extractor. You know, I'm gonna have it really low. I don't want to gate the guitar. I just want, you know, when he's not playing, to not having any background noise. So that's gonna be it. Source extractor. I'm gonna turn on the EQ. I'm gonna leave it to nothing because I know my friend Vince really well, and I know his tone's gonna be perfect from right off the bat, right out of the guitar. Not even a compressor. I know he can handle his stuff really well. No need for compression on him, and everybody's gonna hear whatever he's sending out. Fun start with the acoustic. Source extractor for sure, because when that acoustic guitar is not playing, I want to make sure that it's not, you know, bugging anybody. Depth 20, that's good. Maybe I can lower that down just a little bit, so if he ever does finger picking, I'm gonna hear it through the PA really well, and the ears really well. EQ, this, I know his guitar acoustic is gonna have somewhere around 280. It's gonna have a little bump, and I can narrow the Q to around 2, and I can drop by 3 to 6 dB. I'm gonna go 4.5 as a starting point, and I know that guitar is gonna ring there because I've worked with that guitar so many times with a JDI, with the same. I just know that instrument. Compression. This is where we're gonna start to have fun. Do we go LA2A? Do we go 160? Because it's not gonna do much. Or should we go distressor? I think I'm gonna go LA2A. LA2A. Turn that on. We're gonna make sure to reduce the peak. And we're gonna crank it up. That's gotta be my starting point for my acoustic guitar. Now, the fun is, we're gonna have the insert block actually before the EQ. And here, I wanna have a body res. I love those. Actually, I could do the same thing on the upright. Let's do that. Let's bring a insert block here and do second insert body res. Turn it on. Oh, I just noticed something. That button here is new to me. Maybe you guys are gonna say it's been there for a while, but I never noticed it. I think it's new to me. FX Spell. So if you were to have, well, actually I'm gonna do this. The body res only has one fader option. You know, it's just the variable of the body res. You can not use the knob on the screen. You can use a fader to do it. I'm gonna leave it at 25, the starting point. But if you were to have a 31 band EQ, like I'm gonna put on my main just for fun. Let's use this one, 31 band EQ, graphic EQ. You can have basically your effect on fader. And you can, if I remember correctly, because this is new, well, you could do it with a custom control, but you were always able to do it. You were not able to do it with that knob, but there we go. You can change the EQ curve with the arrow here in the bottom and change your GEQ and fader. So everybody complained about GEQ and fader. It's there, not a thing of the past anymore. You're good. And you can do it, you can have access to that with a custom control. If you want to go fast over your EQ, you can just have a custom control here, go click, and it's going to pop out here. You do your thing, you move the arrow, and you go out of it, and you're back on mixing. Let me just remove that, really none. All right, we're going to go back to this after. So acoustic guitar. Now that we have a body res on the upright, now that we have a body res on the acoustic, we can move to the keyboard. That's going to be my keyboard. No, nothing. Maybe I'm going to turn EQ on, but no, nothing. By default, I don't EQ keyboard. Usually they sound good right off the bat. I just let them be their thing. So, yeah. It was an EQ. Sorry, Patrick, I don't have the chat in front of me right now. It's the EQ reset. Edit in the firmware. Let's take a look at the tool, maybe. Not that I can see here. Yeah, so many changes happened with. So many changes happened with the wing recently. Like, there's so many new stuff available that the yellow box is for the knobs, the blue box is for fader effects. Okay. It's added as a workaround. What were you talking about, Andy? That's a dream. We're making great progress, dude. We're doing great now. Open the toolbox. Open the toolbox and click initialize. Okay, let me first do an EQ, like, you know, the kind of EQ that you would do on a keyboard. Let's go with this one. All right, so this is my keyboard EQ. Please do not replicate that. And you go tools, EQ, initialize. Yeah, but there's a big hole here that could be added only. Hear me out. It could be added only to channel, because you don't want to have a EQ settings like that on a main that you accidentally erase just by hitting one knob. Or it would need a pop-up menu for sure. But there's a big hole right there where it could be. I know on the output you have stuff here. Maybe on the output it could be here instead of the low cut high cut, you know, having two different places. So when you're on an output, you know for sure that you need to click here to have it recall, and you don't hit it by accident or thinking that you're on a channel, resetting a channel, and you reset a monitor EQ or something, or a main EQ. But yeah, on the channel, there's a big space right there. But yeah, it's a couple steps. It's you know, as a workaround. If we see this as a workaround, what is the difference of me resetting an EQ? And I'm gonna go here. What's the difference of me resetting an EQ? Go tool, select my EQ, and go initialize. It's faster for me to go like this. Oh. I think we have a bug. I think we have a GUI bug. I went fast and my EQ is showing through this here. Can you guys see that on video? And I cannot select the other EQs. It's on channel 12. When it's on, it's the same thing. No, actually, I'm okay. It's coming from the wing EQ. And I have band 1 selected. Is it doing something? Okay, we probably have a GUI bug. GUI is for graphic user interface, by the way. Alright. And for anyone that's just joined in and probably want to know about it, this is Ghost EQ mode. There we go. It's a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Ghost EQ mode. Thank you very much, Andy, for posting it. You posted that on the right place, right? Alright, is it only on channel 12? Let me go out of here and switching from channel to channel. Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Alright, it's not the end of the world. Let's reset that. Let's go with this way, just to play around. I'm gonna put the EQ on, but yeah, stuff that can happen. I don't know if it's doing, if anybody want to confirm, is it doing the same thing on 3.0.2? I'm on 3.0.3, so maybe I think there's enough bug fix with 3.0.2 that you can upgrade to 3.0.2 no problem. Maybe we're gonna wait for the official release of 3.0.3 or .4, depending on if the bug here make it bump a number or not. But I'm definitely on 3.0.3. All right. Moving on to vocals, that's going to be easy. It's all going to be SM58, and they're all going to use pretty much the same setting. It's going to be source extractor, it's going to be an EQ, it's going to be compressor, and I don't know if I want to go 1176 or no stressor. I like my old 1176, so let's go 1176. Minus 21, 32 here. Smooth it out, and I'm gonna just go here. All right, low cut 160-ish, SM58. This is a starting point, by the way, guys. It's not a set for all, you know, all the time EQ. It's just I start with that. Usually it makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna re-EQ. So that's good. I want my tap point to be pre-compression for my send, so I'm gonna go pre-compression so people don't hear the compression in their ears. I only have 7 mix, by the way. And that's good, that's good. We're just gonna copy paste that. So tool, select that. We want the filter, the gate, blah blah blah. Everything's gonna follow. So I want that on every single vocal. Nope, not this one. Let's do this again. Tool, 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy. There you go. So all my vocal are now set. Andy, you cannot reproduce this. All right. Or would it be because you initialized that specific EQ channel? Well, actually, let's take a look at that. Let's investigate a bug. This channel, I didn't touch it, okay? Let me go in the EQ and do this. No, it's doing it right away. I didn't initialize that channel. But to me, it's buggy. And I don't know if it worked saying, but I have an early version of the wing. I have probably the first batch. If my serial number give you any kind of information, it's an early version. Let's go here. And yeah, this is bugged, but I mean, I don't care. Is it doing the same thing on the other device? No, it's just on EQ. I don't know why it would do this, but it's preventing me from doing this. And if I go around, let me change the channel a couple times and see if it does anything. If I go to a Bossa channel, and I cannot select them. Or actually, no, I can select them, depending on... Oh, now it's back. No, now it's not. Okay, on 21, there is no name on that channel, and it's the original black color. This one seems to change. Okay, it's only on the wing EQ. If I can select the other one, you know, after touching a couple times, I can select it. It's good. That's about it. Oh, if you want to have the snap, no problem. I can save that right now and send it to you. This is gonna be snap. Actually, I need to build a new show for that. So create show, Melina, and I can save. Melina basic save. And I'm gonna make sure to send that right your way. I don't think it's gonna disappear, at least until I restart, because I can make it happen again. You know, if I go here, as long as I'm not on an EQ. Did I change any EQ? No, it's only on the EQ that is not the default wing one. That is not buggy. Let me select this one here on 21. You know, if I press a couple times, I made it happen. There we go. Now I have the name on this one. I can select that, but on the other one, it's buggy. And if I don't click it too many times, on this one is fine. On this one is fine. Yeah, it's just on the wing. Let's see if it's the same thing for all the bus. Let's go bus 1. Seems like it. And if I select it, has that like double layer selection. And I can probably, you know, moving my finger around and make it happen. There we go. And if I go bus 1, bus 2. All right. Should I try to do a reset? Can you show the setting of the RTA, please? It will be right there. It does the same thing with the RTA mode. Or maybe because I was bugged in already. Let's change that EQ. Yeah. What about the tool? Tool menu is fine. Setting for the RTA is doing the same thing. But I believe it's only on the wing EQ. There we go. Is there a firmware 2.2? I get a message in Copilot to use at least 2.2, but I never saw that version. Yes, it has been released. I don't want to go 3.0 because some potentially bug are not found. 3.0 is really stable, so there is no crashing on it as far as I know. I just discovered a bug here with the EQ, but this is not a showstopper. I think you can go safely to 3.0.2 without any problem. And the only bug that I have now is a graphic, you know, it's a graphic bug, so nothing that can stop you to do a show. It's not going to make the console crash. And as far as I know, 3.0 is really stable, like I said. So go to 3.2, I think is a safe bet. And 2.2 could have the same kind of bug that are pretty much worked out now. I think there's a couple bugs that were making the console crash, if I remember correctly. Could be totally wrong, by the way. Don't quote me on that. But I would say update to 3.0.2, which is for sure available publicly right now. This is a better version that I'm running. I'm running 3.0.3. which corrects some graphic bugs. I believe is it Andy or Peter that found one where you are in the VSS reverb and it creates some problem. But yeah, go ahead and go ahead and download that. There is no major bug on them other than, you know, the graphic one that I have here, which is whatever. I can still, you know, if I want to be picky, can I still, let's see if I can still use the graphic EQ. The RTA setting, I mean, yes, I can change that. I can change pre-post. Okay, that I cannot change RTA range, but to be honest, if I can change, because by default, you know, the side knob is selecting on the fixed gain. If you can do that fixed gain and you can change pre or post, you basically can use that. The shelving parametric EQ, you can only change it from shelving to parametric if you want to, but by default there are shelving, and if you want to change them, you absolutely want to change them to parametric. And can I use a knob to play around with that? No, but if you want to change them, you can do go parametric. If you, pretty sure if you play around with that enough, you can probably getting it back to shelving. There we go, I made it back to shelving. So it's not fun to play around with during a show. I totally agree with you, but it's not a showstopper. So, yeah. And I don't know if you changed the EQ on it, which is still kind of easy. Is it coming back to 2 shelf? Yes, it's come back to 2 shelf. So there's a workaround. And if it's the only bug so far, well, I'm gonna tell, but nothing to stop you from doing that. Why ads on live? You mean on the live video? Why ads on live? Because I still need to make a few penny. It's YouTube. I could totally disable those, but if I do, I cannot monetize the video at all after. And not that I'm making much, to be honest. All these live stream get me around $1, maybe $2 if they're really popular. So it's not much, but you know, I'll be honest, I'm just scraping pennies. I'm just trying to bring in as much pennies as I can in the YouTube, just to, you know, justify the fact that I'm still doing these videos. It's not the few, you know, the few $100 a year that worth like just a gear that I'm showing in those videos. All right. Let's go quickly over the rest of the input, and I can start to build some in-ear mixes quickly. So vocal, we checked that out. Piano, I don't know what I'm gonna have. I don't know if it's gonna be, you know, a pair condenser. I don't know if it's gonna be PZM in that piano. Could be 2 SM58 as far as I know, so no clue. Backing track sequence, nothing. They should be out of the gate perfect, so I'm not playing with that. I'm gonna react depending on if I need to do something. Click track, count, definitely not playing around with that. So let's do some quick bus overview. The first thing I want to do is I want to raise my bus to 0. I do not have that displayed on. I believe it's in the setup somewhere. Show. Oh man, it's been a while. Where do you show value and scribble strip? Yeah. That way, when you enable show value and scribble strip, when you raise up or down a fader, it will tell you if it's at 0 or not. I like to have my bus zeroed out. That way I know my metering is good on the console. If I send to consoles in or whatever, I know my metering is good. So if I clip my input, or if I clip my bus, I should say, with all my input being mixed in, I know that I'm gonna clip that device too. Could be a monitor, could be, you know, anything. All right. So now they are 0 out for me. Let's take a look at this. I'm not gonna apply any processing on these other than the back vocal. I'm gonna enable the EQ, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm using parametric on these, because those will be floor monitor. They will be wedge. Parametric. All right. No compression, no nothing on these. Okay, let's go send on fader mode. Here, actually, can you do it from the screen? It will be really interesting for me to do this. Or should I go? Should I go like this, or should I go like this? sense. There's many ways to do it on the newer version because they're thinking about having the rack, so it's gonna make sense for me. Let me see what's going on here. Why is it green? Is it for some reason that I am post fader on that one? No, everybody is pre. I don't know why it's lighting up, but let's do it from this view here. I'm gonna click send on fader, and I'm just gonna raise some stuff, and I'm gonna enable everything basically. I know for sure the drummer is gonna want to have a kick loud. I know for sure that the bass player want to have the kick but less loud. I know the guitar player, because he's a friend of mine, I know he wants to have the kick that loud. Usually good starting point. Lead singer, back vocal, no kick for you guys, sorry. I'm gonna go to snare. I want to enable all of these. I know the drummer gonna have the snare real loud as a starting point. Bass player, guitar a little less, and the keyboard a little less. And again, these are just basic setting. It's not gonna be the end all mix. I will have to go in these mix and play around with them, but you know, it's gonna be there. Hi-hat, I don't use much hi-hat. Nobody here wants to have a hi-hat, and I'm gonna pan that for pretty much everybody. Hold on, I'm gonna pan that pretty much for everybody, so I'm gonna do this 50% on the left, 50% on the left. Well, I'm not gonna pan that because it's a mono monitor anyway. Lead vocal, pretty sure not gonna have some hats in there. First tom, yes. Let's go for the drummer, of course. Bass, of course, but the drummer usually they like to have their tom kind of loud. This. Sorry, I'm not having the chat right in front of me, so. What do you have in common with System of a Down? Just curious. System of a Down, you're talking about my System of a Down tattoo here. This is a writing that is on the Steal This Album CD from System of a Down, which is almost a B-side album, but I love it so much. It's the CD that I've listened to the most in my life. And what do I have in common? I'm not Armenian, if that's a question that you ask, but I live in a kind of social situation where I don't want to be too politics, but I'm French Canadian, and for some while it's been a ongoing fight for us to keep our culture and to keep, well, and that's way before my time, but at some point it was a struggle for us to keep our land and stuff like that. So I'm really sympathetic. I have you know, I kind of feel where they go with that vibe. You know, nowhere close to Quebecer have been to the Armenian, in the sense of we kind of were to war, but never a genocide like the Armenian people went through. I don't want to be too politic about that, but just to say that I understand, and I really like that band, and I really like the message. Peace. Everybody should have their voice. Everybody should be equal, I believe. So if you do not agree with the peace and love vibe, and you like to go to war and doing that stuff, and you don't feel like it's okay for you to watch this channel because I do not agree with you, well, feel free to leave the channel. I'm fine with that. Peace, love everybody, accept, love everyone. That's basically the message. Stand for your right, stand for your land. If people want to come by and try to kill your people, sure, stand up for your land in a peaceful way. Fight never is the answer. Violence is never the answer to anything, ever. So, peace. Peace, love, and coffee. Peace, love, and live sound engineering. That should be a coffee mug. Peace, love, and sound engineering. I've been just ordered the Wing Compact. We'll see when it comes. Oh man, I cannot wait to place my order for the Wing Compact. I'm actually waiting on a confirmation that I can order a Wing Compact from Logan McQuaid. So as soon as that possible, I will have actually 2 Wing Compact. I already have a rack on the way. I paid full price for it, like everybody else. We'll see if I can have, you know, the integrator and corporation discount from Logan McQuaid, but if not, well, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and pay full price for it. Not that it's overly expensive, but I mean, if you can give me a cheaper price, of course I'll take it. But yeah, I have a rack coming. Okay, I want to confirm something. There's some people here in the chat that knows the answer to this, and I'm just gonna move that out of the way. Sorry, it's really been disturbing for you guys. Is the headphone amp on the rack physically connected to the only 8 output available on the rack? I think they are. Some people told me that they're not, but I know maybe some of you here in the chat have a rack and you know the answer to this one. They are physically connected together with the output. Man, no. Why? They are mirrored physically. Why? No. They should replace the 8 aux. No. It should be 8, well, not 8, but 4 stereo headphone preamp and 8 output. Why? The routing matrix is full, but even if the routing matrix is full, it's the same thing as having a full-size wing with 8 aux out. It's the same thing to me. Guessing is the sacrifice to 24, getting 24 in. I like the 24 in. That never was an issue. I'm pretty sure you can hook as many local preamp as you want in this thing as long as you have the physical space for it. I'm pretty sure if Behringer really want to, they could, with the same engine, have a physical 48 input on the console. I'm pretty sure it would do. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a designer at all. But the output, if we have 8 physical output XLR on the back of the full size, and we have 8 physical 1/4 inch on the back, no, you have 24 inputs, so oh man, I'm disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed. But is it gonna stop me from buying one? No. Is it gonna make me buy a Stage Connect to go along with it? Yeah. It would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. Okay, I'm gonna get over it. I've already bite the bullet. I've already paid for one, so it's gonna be fine. But imagine if you could have 4-player wired and you can have, you know, a pair monitor in your main out. Right now you cannot. As far as I know, you can have 4 stereo bus. That's it. Other than that, you need to have an extra. I mean, I have a DL8, It's on its way. I have a Pro. It's on its way. They're all going to be... I don't think they will all live together in the same rack, but they will coexist. But I would love to have, more output 4 gigs when I have a lot of in-ear. Example. Or if I have really small gig, I would love to have my DL8 being carrying around, and just drop that in. But, okay. It's not like I'm missing in and out. I have those. I have too many stage box at the moment. I have a DL2, I have 2 DL231, and I have a 251, and I only have 1 wing. Trust me, that's going to change, but to me, my point of view, hold on. The wing rack is an everything else killer, but the X32 rack had 14 physical output, so you could do 7 stereo mix or 6 stereo mix and a main out. Now you can only do 4. Is it the end of the world? No, but I would prefer to have, everything. The chip doing the routing is limited to a total count of 32. Okay. So 24 plus 4, DL8. Yeah, I have a DL8. Sorry, I'm reading the chat a little backward here. Okay, so it's kind of like Stage Connect on the local end. So if you have 32 streams, it has to be 24/8 or 16/16, like we have on the wing right now. Because the full size is 16/16. So, okay, Andy, you figure out how to create the bug, recreate the bug. It's doing the same thing on you, so okay. I think we'll see a new RF EM Dente stuff coming 25. It's nice to be with wing rack. I don't know if you guys check out the latest release from Sennheiser. I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but I definitely want to take a look at the new dual receiver transmitter pack from Sennheiser. It's gonna be expensive, but every single body pack is a wireless for, let's say, guitar and in-ear, or a microphone and in-ears. So when you're gonna have speakers on stage, they will be able to have a headset mic, and they will have, in-ear, and it's gonna be a single pack bidirectional. So I'm really looking forward to that, but I don't know how much those packs are going to cost, and just the reason why I'm thinking about these is because they are fully dente-enable. So you will be able to take just a single cable from a wing rack, connected that to your receiver transmitter, because it's both, and you'll be able to send, I believe it's up to 64 channel, so it's going to be 64 channel in and out of, it could be 64 radio transmitter and 64 emitter, all in the same. And the antenna now don't connect with old BNC cable anymore. They use RJ45, so EtherCon. So you basically have to carry on your tour only one type of cable, instead of having an old BNC that's been working, but if you pull on it one more time, it's gonna give on you. So yeah. Really cool. And it's always a good thing to have spare network cable, because they break. The good one lasts for a long time, but eventually they break. Like every cable, at some point it breaks. But yeah, the new Sennheiser stuff looking really cool. I don't know how expensive it is. If it's the price of my house, I'll probably not buy one, but I'm definitely looking for one. The replacement for the PSM 1000 will be Dente. Probably. It's a safe bet. I'm shocked they have physically moving fader on that. Doesn't seem real. Are we talking about the leak for the... It's not the P16, it's the P24. Have you guys seen this? We're deep enough in the stream now for... Photonator audio, I think I seen a transceiver for $9K, so it's $9,000 plus the pack plus the antenna. Okay, so it's basically the price of a car to get a rig of 4. Exterior 2 can be a stage box, yeah. You can still use the Behringer rack, the wing rack, as a stage box if you, like you can the X32. Yeah, but yes, you can. Sorry, it was a question, Bailey, J Bailey Pro. Yes, you can. It will have remote. Actually, the same. It's the same thing as the wing. If you dive into the wing menu in the routing section, or right here, you have remote option for those preamps. So whatever is in A of your wing or the local, it will be able to be remote from pretty much any AS50 device. The thing that I don't know is what Hub Pro 4, if you'll be able to use wing rack with a Midas Pro series or the HD96 series. But only with the trim, I think no gain. Right now what I show you is gain. This is gain. You have gain control, not trim. Or as it's called head amp control, which is, I believe, a better term to use here to not mix things up. It's the head amp control. All right. Sorry, just checking out that I have 55 missed phone call. Okay, let's finish this, and I can go have a break, because we've been going live for 2 hours, and I just want to get, you know, the show quickly done here. And I want to do the pan and everything. So, pan wise, let's go back to our channel. Send. I want to make this send. All right, 50. Yes, good. If no, actually, this one's not going to be needed. It's a mono monitor anyway. All right, so floor tom, floor tom, floor tom. Okay, it copies from one to the other. This one, actually, I need it to be on the other side. 50? Let's go 50. Let's go wide tom. Actually, no, 25. And the second floor tom will be at 50. As a starting point, again. Not going to be needed. Here, let's go 50. You want that floor to hit on your right here. So everybody will have a vision of the drum from drummer perspective. Amazing, thank you so much for the explanation. The price difference is so close. I have an X32 rack as a stage box along with an X32 compact, and I've been always wanting a backup console. Looking at the upgrade both. Yeah, definitely worth the upgrade. I think they both will have great new features, especially if you're starting from if you're coming from X32 world. Definitely an upgrade. Myself, honestly, I've maxed out what I can do on an X32, in the sense of most of the time now I'm using the console, I'm using all the effect block, I'm using all the bus, I'm using pretty much all the channel. And like, I would like to have some, you know, extra stuff happening, you know, doing some side chaining, doing some, and I just can't anymore. It's just full. I do not have any more bus to do stuff. I don't have any space to do, you know, more reverb or have a different reverb or separate reverb for everybody. I just can't do that anymore on the X32. It's maxed out, which is okay. It took me maybe 5 years to max out the platform, and now that I'm on Wing, doing more complex show file is not even close of maxing out that thing. So seriously, the ball is back in my camp in the sense of there's always a knob. I'm gonna take that from an old interview that I saw of Big Mick, the soundman of Metallica, front of us engineer for Metallica, and he said back in the day you only had, it started with low, mid, high, and after that you had a single parametric EQ, and then you had third, now full parametric, and now you at some point insert a graphic EQ on your bus so you can do more stuff faster. You can just have a EQ a bus of microphone. Let's say Metallica on their stage they have like 10 or 12 vocal position, so instead of EQing individually each mic, they just like do the EQ curve on a single mic, and that's it. That's not how I would approach it, but it was, especially in the analog world, a way to just approach it faster. Change the EQ of the vocal that night for that PA. You were like just playing around with a 31 band. You didn't have to do like 12 times because that one song that he's gonna sing over there, it's not EQ'd right. So it was a way to have a faster main control over some stuff. And nowadays with the availability of processing that we have on stuff like a Wing Compact, it's crazy, man. The amount of feature that you have in those console, the amount of gear that those console replace. So yeah, pretty much it. Maxing out console is tough, especially now that we have more, like the X32, more than the X32. It's awesome. They changed the bus send detail from separate page to more drop down, it seems. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah. Yeah, the Wing is insane. Totally agree with you, man. Rob, interesting one. I don't think it's worth selling the X32 rack anymore due to the recent price drop. I'm gonna keep both. Yes, definitely. Well, a lot of people are gonna sell them, to be honest. A lot of bands are probably gonna get rid of their current rig. They're gonna ditch the X32 rack for whatever it takes, because the price difference on whatever you can sell, it's almost the used price of an X32 rack is double the price of a brand new Wing rack, and I would invest that money right now. Or actually, to be honest, I knew for a while it was coming. Like as soon as the leak went out, and if I was in a position where I could just get rid of my X32 rack, I would have done it right away. But this is also a reason why I sold my Pro ones. I knew that the Compact was coming. I heard, leaks. I don't have any, insider information on that. I just saw the leak like everybody else, and I was like, oh, okay, now it's going to be a good time to sell my Pro one, because the Compact is going to replace that pretty much. Like, not the same amount of output, but 24 input plus, everything that you have in the Wing. I put those console up for sale, and it's just good business to do so. You always want to be not always on the cutting edge, but you don't want to have too much last gen stuff. So that's about it. It gives small sound provider like you a really powerful tool. Honestly, if you're not doing like international act, and you get the real stage box, like you get the Midas DL stage box, I don't see any reason why you need something bigger than the wing. Like, feature wise, I think it can go against any Digico. Feature wise, I'm not talking about sound, I'm not talking about clock, I'm not talking about, you know, anything, but feature wise, and once you factor in the price, you can get 10 wing compact for the price of a Digico, like an SD9. And I think, again, feature wise, you have more with the wing. Can I get my chat back? Hold on. Can I get my chat back here? I think I could. Hold on. Yay! I can now see you guys. All right. I have 232 rack, one modified with Black Lion audio. Is it really worth it? The Black Lion audio stuff? Turning your gear 4 to 5 year is... What do you mean I'm too nervous? What are you talking about? Robert, you sold your X32 yesterday? Oh, I don't regret it, man. It's the end of an era. It's fine. Moving on. Moving on, man. G-Belly Pro, very excited to replace and have a play family. Always prefer the smaller console. The footprint, yes, I do. These are my personal console. My day job is on the Yamaha CL-QL and not a DM7. The wing feels similar to the DM7. I would be curious to know, because I don't know the DM7 enough, but I would be curious to put head-to-head a DM7 and a wing. If anybody here is a big DM7 user and you want to have a chat, like I did with Bubba when we talk about the wing versus the HD96, I'd be curious to to have you on the show if anybody want to take the side of the DM7. I have nothing against it, by the way. It's just I'm just not too familiar with it, and I'm always open to learn about new things and learn about different console. And I think both consoles are great. It's just a matter of feature, and once you factor in the price, this is where usually the wing is going to win on everything. Because the price of the compact with 24 physical input, or just the rack with 24 physical input, man, it's hard to beat. I had my X32 compact when they released the midsole. Yeah, solid console. The wing is a game changer, definitely. I made so much money with my X32 rack. They are the best gear I've ever owned. Yeah. Honestly, my DL251 has been that for me, because I had a rack, and I probably showed that in a vlog if you guys see that before. I used to have an X32 core with a DL251. I sold the core about a year ago, and I had that with a pre-wired setup where I had a drum loon, I had, you know, a typical rock band 2 guitar, bass, keyboard, all pre-wired, and people see me rolling down with that, just a 12 rack space case with that all the cable under the DL251, firing that up, everything predetermined, pre-labeled, almost pre-wired. I was just dropping the drum loom, one drop per player, DI in, vocal with the wire at the right height. And it sounded so good because of the DL251 that I was getting contract. People were hiring me because in a matter, like they never saw a load in going that fast or load out going that fast. And it was just sounding good, especially in their ear. I used to have also at some point a 4 in-ear rack to go along with that, and people were just happy with that. It just I was really well trained with that system. I knew, like, I was always one step ahead when something happened. I knew how to preset those things so they sound good. So it's different on the wing. And I was talking the other day with Pete Sadler when I did the HD Air video, and he explained to me off camera how the type of processing, the kind of CPU that's doing the processing could affect the tone of what you're doing. So, sorry, I'm reading. Great news, the EQ bugs is known and will be fixed in one of the upcoming updates. All right, good to know. But yeah, because I knew how those consoles react, the way that they sound, the way that the interface or the processing on them were sounding, I just made it work. I just figured out a way to make it work, and I was always able to be one step ahead. If you told me what was on the other end of an X32, like it's going to be an SM58, I could do the EQ curve, could pretty much nail the gain. Like if you my setup was anywhere between 26 and 30. If I knew you were a loud singer, I would put it to 26. If I know you were a regular singer, I would put it to 30, and set up my compressor accordingly to that. And that setup, knowing almost every single input of my DL251, I knew I could make it band, go really fast, and it bring me a lot of money. It is a great tool. I don't want to say it is a great tool that I'm using, and I love it. It's worked for me to spend that much money on gear because it's bringing me a lot of work. The DM7 is quite new to me. I use it for monitor with too many hears. Makes for a CL5, a couple of corporate jobs. Okay. I gotta say, it's insane processing wise. Not had the chance to mix on the wing yet. Processing wise, the wing is crazy, especially when as a monitor guy, as somebody who now is doing mostly monitor and doing front of house and in-ears, just the fact that I can have 24 stereo mix on a console that is under $5,000 with a stage box. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So on that note, I've been rambling for 2 hours. You guys want to continue, or you guys think we're done here? I can finish my preset for the band, and we'll see. We're gonna finish that, and you guys let me know if we keep going or we take a break, or if you guys want to see something cool happening. Let's go. Overheads. I'm just gonna turn them on for now, and I'm gonna send them to like the 4 people, maybe the drummer a little more, but usually the rest of the people don't want that much overhead in their mix. Bass. Well, everybody likes bass. Lead singer is gonna get a little bit of bass. The drummer is gonna get a lot of bass. Bass is gonna get maxed out bass, and keyboard and guitar are gonna get a tiny bit, just as a starting point. They will probably adjust that as they go along. Upright bass, we gotta kind of go the same thing. A little bit for the lead singer, a lot for the bass player, drums, just a tiny bit for these guys. Alright, guitar. Everybody wants to have guitar. So guitar, really loud for him. -12, 12 because he's giving the pitch to a lot of people. So, all right, start with that. Acoustic, kind of the same thing. A lot for him, little less for everybody else. Around -18 for these guys. Lead vocal around -9. Keyboards. Everybody will have keyboard. This a tiny bit for the back, tiny bit for lead singer, and usually drummer like this, bass like this, around -12, roughly around -12. Let's go back to vocal. That's gonna be my friend Vince. He's a guitar player, so he's gonna have a lot of vocal. Nobody else really want to hear that. Not even this. Maybe the lead singer, just a tiny bit. Lead singer! Of course, she wants to hear herself loud. Back vocal, also want to hear herself loud. The band, we're going to start around -18. Usually they just want to have enough to follow, but not too much. Back vocal, usually we're going to start because it's a wedge at -6, but I'm going to raise that up eventually to 0. Lead vocal, just a tiny bit, you know, -12. Rest of the band, and just if they want to hear it, just a tiny bit, around -21. Same for second back vocal. Piano, I don't know. I know the lead singer is going to play it, so she wants to have that in her ear. The rest of the band won't be on stage, but I think I'm going to just put a little bit in their ears, just if they walk off stage and they have wireless pack, they will have something. Backing track, I will start really low because sometimes it's really loud. So somewhere around -21 for most people. Click, I know the drummer is gonna want to have that loud. Probably the bass too, guitar player too, keyboard just a little bit. Backing track in the monitor, absolutely no. Click. And maybe I'm gonna put some maybe just in the background for lead singer. So usually they use that so they can hear the beginning of the song. Count. Yes, for the band. Maybe for the back vocal, but we're gonna hear it. No, we don't want that, but definitely for the lead singer. Usually you have, you know, some pitch on there, you have piano notes for the lead singer to hear. So that's how I would approach doing basic in-ear mixes for a band. Now, you guys want to have fun with some effect while I read what's going on in the chat. Finding a case for the Wing Compact will be an issue. Honestly, what I plan to do is build myself some road case for them. I can order the parts, and I'm going to do really light case, you know, with 1/4" plastic case. The plan for me is to have the Compact, kind of like this, having it sitting flat on one of the rack mount case, and I'm going to make sure to have a rack deep enough so I can have the Wing Compact in there. And the two side panels are going to be table, so I'll be able to take the front lid out, lift the leg, put it as a table, have my in-ear rack on it, doing the same thing on the other side. Back of the rack, put it as a table. I'm going to have my DL251 under it, and probably some extra space for, you know, wireless or in-ears or stuff like that. So that's going to be the plan for my rack, and I'm going to build them myself. That's going to be for the one is going to go on tour with this Wing, and I'm planning on having a Compact in just a regular small case, but I'm probably going to build it myself and save on the cost there. It's just going to be a like bare wood case or bare plastic, and I'm gonna use the wing mounting mechanism to attach it to the bottom of the case. Only the top will lift off, and there will be nothing in it. It will be, if I can have the lid like a 1 inch from the if the top could be just a 1 inch cover like I have on this one, that's gonna be it. But I'm gonna make those myself because they are hard to make, but not so hard if you have a rivet gun that is not manual. If you have a automatic rivet gun, you're good to go. Basically, it's gonna take you a day to build it, but I think if you're just a little bit good with your craft skill, you can probably make it happen. And basically, check out other case that you saw and copy those design. There is nothing to be reinvented here. It's just a case. You just want to protect those. And maybe I saw some people posting a Pelican or a plastic case for those, so maybe there will be a plastic option available right off the bat for probably cheaper than making one yourself, because you know those generic plastic case with foam in it sometimes cost less than building a wood case. But I want something that I can carry around. M32R case may work, yes, definitely. I think it's not going to be the same thickness in the surface because the M32R is thin at the front and has, you know, that lifting. I think the wing will have a steeper curve and fully triangle shape. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. All right, let's move on to my effect rack. Let's build that together just for fun. Let's do, what did I say that we're gonna have today? I just wanna make sure that we get the right thing. So I want a drum verb, I want a guitar verb, I want a large reverb, a small reverb, a delay, and a chorus. So that's only 6 effect. So we're gonna start at the bottom. That's gonna be my chorus. I like to have this one. That's gonna be my stereo delay. That's gonna be my small reverb. Should we go vintage broom? There we go, it works. Long, should we go with blue plate? And after that we have guitar verb. Let's go for a hall, and I'm gonna do the VSS3 for the drums. I still have 2 left. If I ever want to have more effect going, or if I want to use, you know, a special one for the snare, I can always insert something in here. That's really easy. Let's assign these to some processing. So it's going to be my drum. That's going to be my guitar verb. Large, and it's going to be larger than that. I'm going to go with small verb. This one. And it's going to be around this, or maybe somewhere 124. There we go. Delay. And I want to play with the offset, and I want the pattern to be the same. That's good. That's good. Low cut 250. I really want the delay to be radiophonic-ish, you know, really tense sounding like that. Usually. And chorus makes 100%. I can keep it high, but definitely want to get some roll off here. I can go even to 400. You don't need much, you know, mid-range coming from the chorus. You want to have, you know, sparkle on top. All right, so for sure I want my chorus, because we're going to do the effects, and I want my chorus to be sent into my large and my small verb. -6, -6, maybe -12 as a starting point. It's going to be enough. All right. I want my delay to also go in these Maybe something like that. Haven't had any ads till now. It's been 2 hours. I've been live for 2 hours. It's a good thing, Rob. Rolf. Sorry, not Rob. Rolf. Not good for my few pennies that I will make on that video, but good for you, man. Okay, small verb. Sometimes I send it into the reverb. Yes, Patrick is there to get all the ads, basically. Okay, do I go crazy here? I could play around with reverb and say that my, drum verb is going to be sent a little bit into my small reverb. My guitar verb is going to be sent into that chorus. Why? Hold on. You see here that there's a little triangle? You cannot probably see it. You see that there's a little triangle here. Oh, it prevent me from, or actually it's telling me that I'm doing a feedback, because here I'm not on the right reverb. It's telling me that I'm about to do a feedback. That's a great thing. Okay. So I want my guitar reverb to be in the chorus. This is what I want to do. And I almost created an internal feedback. And I think it stopped me. Did it stop me? I'm not gonna try it, but you guys understand what's happening here? It's probably stopping me for doing so, which is a great thing. You never want to be able to do a sending an effect into the effect and create a feedback loop. You never want to do that. Okay, let's go back to this. So my drum verb is sending into the small verb. My guitar verb is sending into the chorus, and the chorus is sending into the other two verb. My large verb could send a little bit into the small verb. Wish I could reconfigure the matrix so. Wish I could configure the matrix to be regular buses so they could be assigned to left right as normal bus for FX return or subgroup or main. Well, you can do it the other way around. You can mix into a matrix and use your 4 main, or just use your matrix as output. Thinking about it, what you could do, hold on, let me try this for fun. You could take, say, matrix 1 here, and can you have a source? Am I on matrix 1 yet? Where is the insert point on that matrix? Hold on. Where would you... Okay, direct input. Where do you select the direct input? And matrix used to have a menu here where you could select the input. Now, is the direct input only the phone, the solo bus, or the AES? What do you mean, yep? This is how it works now? No need for that. You can insert the matrix. This is not on. This is not direct input from channel. Okay. Let me rephrase that. With previous software, from previous firmware, you were able to select whatever you wanted to be sent into those matrix. Interesting. Okay, I understand it. Hold on, because now you can send from a channel to a matrix. You cannot send. Yeah, because you can send a channel directly to a matrix, they remove the insert tap point, and because you can send also any bus to any matrix, there is no point anymore in having the insert here. But you also have a direct input with the AES, so if you want to be, if you want to play around, you just take a short XLR cable and jump between the AES50 in and out, AES EBU in and out, and you can just directly jump something to a matrix. What I was about to say is you can just take your main out and insert that into a matrix, but it's basically the same thing. I'm dumb here. It's basically the same thing as sending your main out to a matrix. Interesting. Okay, it's correct. Yeah, it all makes sense. No, it's all the channel that can be sent into a matrix. So yeah, no, there's no more reason to do that, because basically the idea of having insert point on the not insert, direct input on the matrix was to sending like crowd mic into a matrix, so you can do your main left right and you blending in your crowd mic to do your live stream if you are doing that kind of stuff. So interesting. Okay. Sorry, man. Totally lost my my train of thoughts there. All right. Let's finish the effect basically, and we'll see what's going on here. So I'm on my bus. I'm gonna do a quick sound fader for my drum verb. Sound fader for my drum verb. I'm gonna unmute all of these, and I'm just gonna send. Does it show where? Oh no, it doesn't show. On my channel it shows where I can send that source, but it doesn't show you guys that. So if I go on my drum bus, I'm just gonna do quickly here. So basically, not the kick, snare, hat, not much. The toms, not really the overhead, maybe just a little bit to give it some room, but usually FOH talkback, I would need to set that up. Yep, that's right. Guitar verb, that's going to be for my acoustic guitar. That's pretty much it. I may end up putting some piano in there, so I'm just going to unmute it, but it's not going to be, it's not, going to do anything. Large verb, 4 vocal, around -20. Small verb, all vocal, around -20. Delay is going to be lead vocal on -6, -9 depending on what. Chorus, this is where we start to have fun. The 4 vocal, the acoustic guitar around -12, and I could send the bass, and oh no, I'm sending that chorus into reverb. No. But sometimes I like to have chorus on bass. I grabbed that trick from Chris Lord Algae in his bass plugin. He's running distortion and a chorus with a speaker simulator on bass, and it sounds amazing. It sounds wide. So I grabbed that idea of having that into chorus, but I don't want to put reverb on bass. So that's basically it. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go library. I'm gonna go snap, and I want to go internal. On that snap file, I want to go save, confirm. And I'm going to go back in my show. I'm going to open that show. I just save. It should be good. No. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go open, and I'm going to go. Can I add something to a show? It's been a while since I've done those things. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I have my snap file. This is the one that I care about. Oh, add the show. There you go. Am I doing this right? Honestly, it's been a while since I've worked with the Wing. And you guys probably find that hard to believe, but I've just spent a lot of time on Pro Ones. I'm spending a lot of time on TF1 from Yamaha because it's the console that I'm daily driving. I've run more show recently on Flow 8 than I did on the Wing. But now it's going to be active. Now I'm going to do... I have around 25 to 30 shows in my schedule already in 2025 with Wing. Down the dream. How would you feel if you find out someone took your snap file and was using it without your permission? It depends on the situation. If you take my snap file, you go talk to my band, you undercut me, and you say, don't worry guys, it's going to be a quick sound check, I have a show file ready, and you load my file, I will find you. If you want to take my file and use it for whatever band that you're doing and you want to use it as a starting point, and you want to do your thing with it, sure. It's like loading presets. It's not going to work for your band. This is basically what I'm saying. Because show file are, once they're dialed in, they're band dependent. It doesn't, and I keep saying this to everybody, it's like using presets, you know. I don't know if you want to use my kick drum preset. I don't know what kick drum you have on the other side. Are you using the same mic that I do? And because I'm using a D71 from Bayer Dynamic, which is not the usual suspect that you will find. If you want to use, you know, my file as a starting point with a different drum, a different microphone, and a different everything, and you don't have the same mic that I do on the other side, and you don't have the same, what are you loading my file for? It's not going to work. What if the band asks you for it? I don't mind. The band paid me for that. The band paid me for my time and my work. If the band wanna, you know, if the band wanna grab the show file and fly in somewhere else and they do not have the budget to hire me, am I the asshole here? Am I not giving the file away and having maybe something half decent for these guys to start with? Let's say that you're doing a band on the Wing and they go on a festival somewhere and the guys have a Wing, but you're not there. And the guys say, oh, just give me your file, your band's gonna be happy, it's not gonna be a struggle of a sound check to go through. Should I give them the file? Yes, because I will help my band out and I'm not gonna be there anyway. It's not like let's say that they don't have the budget to fly me in, they don't have anything, and it's going to be only one time. Sure, take my file. Anyway, the band's going to call me back, because if you're too far away for me to fly there, you're too far away for the band to fly you in to replace me anyway. A little bit of that mentality. It's not one rule for everybody, but basically it. Yeah, trick question, but I like it. The wing is so complex now. When you give your personal file, I'm pretty sure you struggle to check all the owner's pre-configuration. Yes, the configuration, the way that I do my thing. The fact that the wing has a personal mixer written on it makes sense, and the way that I do my thing. If it's not somebody like me that explain a lot what he's doing, like if you were to take that show file that I just loaded. Oh, by the way, this is my new toy. This is a USB. It's a USB-A and USB-C key. So it's USB-C on one side and USB-A on the other. So I don't have to bring a freaking adapter anymore. Like Patrick said, it's 32,000. It's 33,000. I'm gonna round that. 33,000 per meters. Only that. And it doesn't take into consideration what's on the other hand. That's the thing. Like if you were tomorrow to go mix my band, and I give you that show file, and you watch that video where I explain everything and why I'm doing it this way. If you're a real sound engineer, if you know what you're doing beyond the console, you go like, okay, I'll figure it out. Maybe it won't make sense to you, but I have nothing EQ here. I have nothing, preset. I only loaded the thing that I want to be loaded on the console. So I believe, it will make sense with the band, but it's not a dialed-in show file. If it's a dialed-in show file, I'll be, I don't want to be underbid by other people. Well, it's not really happening. And to be honest, this is the mentality that I used to have, where I don't want people to steal my show file, because there's somebody else going to show up and underbid me, and is going to grab my show file to sound good for the band. And to be honest, I've purposely done exactly that. I've purposely give my show file to some people to go replace me on show where I could not be there. I had to be somewhere else. And even with my show file, the band was really happy to see me when I come back, because it's not live sound engineering is a matter of always adjusting to how the band's playing that day and how the room feels that day. So you can have my show file, it's not going to be dialed in for that room, because if you don't do a sound check, you just plug that in, load and go, it's a 50-50. It may work if everything is flat enough and you have a good PA and you have a good room and everything is good. But if I give you the show file from an arena mix where it was sounding atrocious in there, and I just destroy all the EQs of monitor in front of us, and drop the reverb, and if I just destroy that file for that arena, if I give you that file, you're not going to go anywhere with it. If it's a venue, a good sounding venue with almost dead sounding, and you have good monitoring situation, and you have almost no slapback from the room, and the stage is dead sounding, and if you go in the same kind of situation and you load the file with the same kind of band and the same kind of microphone, and you're probably gonna be 80% there. But I could give you my show file. If anybody want to have my show file, send me an email. I'll give it to you. All the band that I'm working with, you're first probably never going to meet them because they're based in Montreal. And even if you want to do that, being a sound engineer for a band is not only doing the sound for that band, especially here in Canada with the amount of traveling that you have. You need to be fun to hang out with in the van. And to be honest, this is how I get most of my gig. Not because I'm that great of a sound engineer. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I can make a fair job of doing sound for band. Apparently a lot of people like it when I do in-ears. But these guys like to hang out with me at some point, because we're going to spend 6 hours in a van driving somewhere for a show. We're going to spend the whole day, time between sound check, and then we're going to fly back home the day after and doing like 15 hours of driving together for a weekend of shows. That's the reality that I'm in. If you're an a-hole, if you're not fun to hang out with, if you're hangover all the time, if you're not a good bandmate, you're not gonna last, even if you're half my price. They would go like, okay, he's cheap, but he's not fun to hang out with. I don't know if it applies to you guys, but to me, here in my reality, definitely. It's, yeah. I don't know. I had someone once taking my snap that didn't know much about sound and now use it with his band. He worked with as his own show. Okay, well, if he doesn't know much about live sound, when things gonna go south, he would need to do something that makes sense for that venue or for that band. He won't know what to do, and this is when that people is gonna call you back, and this is where you say, "Oh, so you want to work with me again? It's gonna be more expensive, or I need to have better condition, or I need to have that kind of thing happening." All right. You guys want to keep going with this? I think we're having a smooth chat right now, and it's fun, and I like to have that. I mean, I kind of like to do those where I have the setup on the other side, and I have just a screen in the background, and we can do just chat. But man, I love to be back here in the studio with the wing, too. So I don't know if you guys want to keep going. Let's keep going. Andy, we need socket delay and polarity on the output. Delay is now on every single bus. Let's take a look at this. I didn't talk about that. Let's go take a look at my bus 8, which is not used. We now have delay on bus. I don't think we need to have delay on physical output. The reason why you want to have physical output delay is if you, let's say, don't want to do a copy or a matrix of your mix and you just want to send your main out for output and just, use delay on your delayed speaker and just make it happen. Sure. But if you have the delay on the output, on the output on the bus, the result will be pretty much the same. It's not going to be the same, but it will be pretty much the same. And for what you need to do, you're probably going to get the same job done. Same thing as, the invert, the phase reverse thing. It's going to get the job done. So, I really like the fact, by the way, that we have meter, feet, milliseconds, and simple. That way you can use to convert, and you have the scale going up or down. It's really fun. I really like that. I think it's checking all the bases that I need to, getting done here. Personally, me. So, hold on. All right. Fader movement. Throw delays, emotions. I think you're really specific there. FOH band interaction can be stored in the show file. The automated, yeah, of course. If your band improvise a lot, dude, you have to be on top of your game and you have to mix yourself. You have to mix. This is what I do. You don't like to mix? I like to mix. I like to have fun with bands. Seriously, I used to like to do bar gigs because I used to jam with the band. When you are in a situation where your console is in the right space, you can have an eye contact, or you can interact with the band, or they can hear what you do. If you have a band that start jamming out, you can yourself get involved, and if you're really on top of your game, you can start to have delay, you can start to do some weirdo stuff, you can, doing the low cut thing, you can, if you know what you're doing, you'll be able to do that. And I play console. That's basically it. I play console. You give me something, like, it's the same as, jamming with your buddies. They do a riff, the other guy's doing a riff, you're laying the drum on top of that, and I play around with the vocal and effect vocal. It's an instrument. I play with delay and reverb all the time. And sometimes, if you know what you're doing, you can have your delay doing like, full feedback and go wah, 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 and you can bring it up and down in the monitor and bring it down in the chorus, or you can, funny trick, somebody once told me that if you have, a song that and if you know kind of what you're doing musically, if you know what's the key, let's say, of a chorus is, and that the upcoming chorus is in the same key, you can take a reverb, do like a 5-second long reverb, like a droney reverb, and you can build it on the first chorus, build it on the second chorus, you just send the vocal in it, it is just mushy-washy stuff, and on the last chorus to finish the song, you just blend that in on the big vibe. Or, example that I've done before, I used to work with a band, only a one-time deal, that did a Pink Floyd tribute band, and the guitar rig was mono. If you know anything about Pink Floyd and delay and reverb, it's not mono. So I asked the guitar player if he could bring his reverb down. I would take care of it, and I gave him like really wide stereo. It used to be in the analog day. I had the SPX, the 990, the bigger one. It's not, it's not the SPX 90, the smaller one. It was one of the bigger one, and I had 2 or 3 of those, like crazy amount. So I had one for the guitar and the other one for the delay, and I was like doing stereo reverb, and I was tapping the delay for him, and like those guitar solos sounded like as big as the universe. So I can do those kind of things still. If I have that ready, if I have a band that I'm used to jam with, I will tell sometimes the guitar player, don't do the reverb or don't do the delay on that. I'll take care of it. And if they trust you, you get that going, and you get that, stereo ping pong reverb guitar-ish, like crazy wet stuff. Jam with the band. Are the preamp in the wing rack the same as the Blue Box? They are different, I believe. I think it's the same preamp, if I remember what I read. Could be wrong, but I could, if I remember correctly. It's the same preamp, so all the same component as the Blue Box, but it's not the same conversion chip. So there will be a slight difference there. I believe they are really low noise. Like, I believe they are an upgrade, could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I believe they are an upgrade versus the DL32 stuff, but I don't think it's an upgrade versus the Blue Box. My understanding. I did not look at the schematic of these devices. Yeah, the console is just an instrument. Love to grab your iPad and go in the pit. Yeah, I've done that. I've done my fair share of mixing in bars, especially for the last set, because I used to do. If you ever came to Montreal at Le Deux Pierrots, it used to be a bar where I've played 20 show. Well, I've mixed 20 show years for 8 years there, and it was a guy doing solo stuff. You know, a single guy doing. I don't know what's the word, or chansonnier. If anybody speak French, that know how you would call in English, or chansonnier, a solo guy that was doing basically guitar, acoustic stuff, a solo. It's not really a one-man band, but he was doing his stuff, you know, with a laptop and this stuff. But it used to be a solo artist, 1 hour of band, solo artist for 1 hour, an hour of band. We did 3 1-hour set like that. First one starting was the solo guy. He was doing his thing. The bar was usually empty. After an hour, it's time to change. The band show up. First set, people are not so into it, but we kind of raised them for the second set of the solo guy. Solo guy was doing his thing, like pumping them all the way, getting them, you know, doing all the crazy stuff that you cannot do with a band, singing along and stuff like that. After that, we had second set of the band. This is where everything's fired up. Volume is at maximum. Song intensity is at this maximum, and we hand it to the solo guy for one more set. He slowly brings them down, and 2 o'clock in the morning, this is where we start the last of our hour. We play until 3, from 2 to 3, and this is where we're start to have fun. Clients are there, people are drunk, totally drunk off of their butt, and you can do whatever you want, basically. So I usually took my iPad, go in the pit, have some fun, you know, fooling around. Sometimes in the middle of the set, I close my iPad, put it in my cargo pants, because I use an iPad mini, put it in my cargo pants, having, you know, mosh pit with everybody for the Green Day song, and after that, I just, you know, go back to the console or finish the show with the iPad, having some shot with people, and basically having a beer, because usually I don't drink when I'm mixing. It affects my hair too much. But, you know, second night there of last set of the weekend. Cabaret artist, yeah, no, it's not the same thing. Whatever. But yeah, basically I used to get drunk off of my butt with these guys, and let's say, now that I'm single, I'm gonna say, yeah, maybe I've kissed a girl or two in the pit. It happened before. Not that I ever did anything wrong with my girlfriend, but singer-songwriter is, from my perspective, how you would describe any artist. But let me describe this. We have, in French, a term for somebody that's doing solo show with a guitar. Like, you show up, you have you're basically a one-man band, and you're doing your thing. Could be, you can have backtrack with a laptop. Most of them nowadays have a backtrack with a laptop, and they just sing along, but they entertain the crowd in a different way than the band would. When you are a solo artist, you can, you know, loop yourself. A lot of people use looper too. So I don't know how you would describe that. With a band, you interact with people, but in a different way. Anyhow, doesn't really matter. But yeah, I used to do, you know, split set like that. But man, I'm getting old. Today, and it's funny because I was having a drink yesterday with my friend Simon, who we used to do these show together. And it was 9:30 at night. We are on our second beer in, and I go, could you imagine that when we used to do those bar shows at 9:30 at night, we would kick ourselves in the butt, say, okay, showtime in 30 minutes. Doing 3 1-hour set with an hour of break in between. We said, I wish I could do it one more time, but we would never nowadays almost approaching or 40 or late 30s, there is no way that we would ever like want to do the last set from 2 to 3 a.m. and do the teardown after. coming home around 4:30 if the drive is not too far out, but coming home around 4:30 in the morning. I'm way too old for that stuff. On that note, I think I've stretched that live stream long enough. Thank you very much, guys, for spending some time with me. I hope some of you learned something, or I hope you learned something with the new firmware that was released a couple days ago, week. It's been a week. A lot of cool new feature on the wings. Seriously, we're getting there. This is becoming a beast of a console. It's crazy. I cannot wait to get my hand on the rack. I cannot wait to get my hand on the compact. Stick around for that. As soon as they're gonna be here, I'm definitely gonna do a video about that. It's been a long stream. I'm gonna go have some rest. Maybe it's 4:15. Yeah, I think we'll be time for lunch. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, next Monday, I want you guys to please take care of yourself. And I see you all very soon. See ya!